Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing a video on what Lolita fashion is. Lolita fashion is a Japanese street fashion that basically branched off from the Rococo and Victorian style of clothing. The time frame that it originated in was the 1980s, and it's evolved as a genre since, as any other fashion does evolve. This is something else to help you guys understand what Lolita is when I say that it is from the Rococo inspired type of things. I have this art book, so I'm gonna show you guys some Rococo style of dressing. Like this, her dress right here is a pretty good, or rather a very well representation of what I was talking about in Rococo style of dressing and art. There's also this as well. This is kind of like what it stemmed from, especially with old school Lolita. This beautiful picture right here is also an example of where Lolita has branched off from, in my opinion. Extravagant lace, completely covered up body. You don't really see like corsets in Lolita, or at least I haven't. Oh look, there's a little doll in here. Oh my gosh, this is so freaking cute. Look at that cute little doll. This right here is, oh my gosh, it's perfect. It's just perfect. I just love it. And then I think that's, I'm pretty sure that's a little girl. Yeah, she's perfect. And then look, oh my gosh, this picture is just, oh, this picture is just perfect all the way around. I mean, like, look at these. Oh my gosh, this is just so perfect. And oh my gosh, they even have a male in there. I think that's a male. And then like they have male style of Lolita, and oh my gosh, look how pretty that is. So freaking cute. You see like the lace on the sleeves and the completely covered body besides this little. Look at how beautiful her dress is. All the lace, all the frills, how every part of her is completely covered. Okay, that's it for the Rococo art book. With Lolita, as any other fashion, it can be interpreted in many different ways, but the term Lolita specifically means Lolita fashion in a sense, and how it looks and the guidelines involved in Lolita, as in the anatomy of what a Lolita is, which I will go over in a later video. Lolita is off-putting because it is basically the same name of the book. Lolita fashion is not about looking sexy. It is strictly about being reserved. It is about looking cute and elegant as possible. It could have been named anything else, like anything at all. It just so happens to be called Lolita. When Lolita started, now old school Lolita, but when Lolita started, Lolita fashion was more reserved. Lolita is a very conservative fashion, but it was more reserved in the sense from what I've observed, in the case of no prints, in the case of it being very neutral, muted colors, just like in the Victorian and Rococo style period. It was the purest, I guess, the purest form of a transition from Rococo to Lolita. Now with today, there are many different types of Lolita, being sweet Lolita, gothic Lolita, wild Lolita, sailor Lolita, Alice Lolita, bittersweet Lolita, Shiro Lolita, which is white Lolita, and Kuro Lolita, which is black Lolita, like the Lolitas dressed in a full white cord or a full black cord. Also, there's Hime Lolita, Princess Lolita. There is basically a whole bunch of Lolita type of genre and styles and coordinates and all these other things. Gothic and Lolita, I've looked through this book and not everything in here is Lolita, but there are some things in here that's Lolita. Here's two Lolita girls. This is basically what Lolita stemmed into from the Rococo era and Victorian era. This is basically how it branched off into its own style. not. No. This one right here. This one right here. This is, I would say, classic in a way. Kuro or gothic. I would say Kuro, which is black coordinates with Lolita. It's sweet Lolita. Some people call it bittersweet Lolita because it has a black colorway. This is gothic or Kuro, which for me is kind of confusing. These two. This is kind of classic. I would probably say classic. I'm not really sure. These two are Lolita. This is sweet. These two are gothic, and actually these two dresses are from Bodyline, and as I said before, I buy from Bodyline. Bodyline has gotten a lot better with their dresses, but these are like older. These two. This is a sub-style called Uji or Kadona. Uji is Prince, and Kadona is boy style, I believe. It's right here. And then her room is like set up in Lolita lifestyle, kind of like, it's so cute. And she has more Lolita in the background. Lolita lifestyle is basically those who not only wear Lolita, but they also incorporate Lolita into their everyday life by wearing cute like clothing when they're not wearing Lolita. They also do things like sewing and baking and all these other feminine type of things that you can associate with Lolita and being girly and being cute. These two. This is Gothic Lolita. It's these two. This is kind of like Gothic. And this is kind of like sweet or maybe even classic. This right here is Alice Lolita. Like Alice in Wonderland. It is the perfect example of Alice Lolita, where you wear the Alice style dress and you wear the striped tights. And you know, it's just a perfect example. These two, definitely, these two were on the cover. So these are definitely Lolitas. These two. This is classic. This is gothic. These two. This is sweet. And this is also sweet. These two. This is kind of like a classical style. This was just to show you guys where these style originated from and what it's evolved into. So I hope you guys can have a better understanding of what Lolita is. There is something very important I forgot to tell you guys when it comes to Lolita fashion. There are rules with Lolita fashion. However, these rules do not exist to restrict you guys. Lolita fashion is about an interpretation of yourself, basically. So I feel that as long as you have fun with the fashion, and you should have fun and it should be enjoyable. Lolita is about being beautiful outwardly just as well as inwardly. Oh yes, oh yes. And I will show you guys. That's not Lolita. Women's activities, like men can't sew and cook and stuff. Oh darling, please put me in focus. This is Lolita. Okay. Coordination, no,